right, welcome to Primos for Life, the wrestling podcast made for the fans, by the fans. Como siempre, I am Eddie, El Niño Vaque. We got Ariel, the Ecuadorian Dream Visueta, and we are your self-proclaimed, undisputed co-host tag team champions of the world. And in tonight's episode, we have something very special. We have 2/3 of the New York Wrestling Connection Trios Tag Team Champions under the banner of the Full-Blooded Italians. We have CJ Bambino and Nicky Primo. And we discuss their wrestling journeys, how they got started, and so much more. So, como siempre, sit back, grab a snack, and let's get it on. What is going on, Primo?
What's up, man? What's going on, man? ¿Cómo estás? ¿Todo bien?
Todo bien, brother. I can't complain, man. How you do? Good?
Good, man. Can't complain. Living the dream, So
there you go.
Everything is, swell on my side. So
there you go. That's what I like to hear.
No news is good news. A lot of old adages thrown in there. A lot of the same thing. Oh, no news is good news, and stuff like that. So
yeah, man. Okay. No, I get that. I get that. But ¿qué te iba a decir? So check this out, bro.
All right.
So after our great interview with King Mega, right?
Thanks again, King Mega.
Yeah, of course. Shout outs to the King. It definitely intrigued me to jump into a little bit more of what was going on in the New York Wrestling Connection, right?
Okay.
I was like, okay, you know what? Like, I got to start checking some of their stuff out. You know what I mean? And then, I started watching some of the stuff, and man, there is this action, but like, I don't know, man. I started watching them, and I was like, you know what? It'd be pretty cool if we could try to get these guys, and then, believe it or not, through a mutual connection, crazy how small the world is, right? We're going to refer to him as Uncle Tony, right? Uncle Tony's like a mentor of mine, and we were chatting, and he just so happened to mention to me that, oh man, like, bro, I know you love wrestling. Like, I'm about to go up north and go to this like promotion, and it's crazy because I just found out that, I got a family member in it and this and that. And I was like,
oh, wow.
Where? And then he told me it was in the New York Wrestling Connection. And I was like, no way.
Nice. Nice.
So, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to present to you 2/3 of the New York Wrestling Connection Trios Tag Team. We got Mr. CJ Bambino and Nicky Primo. Let's see.
What's up, guys?
What's going on, boys?
What's up, fellas? Welcome on in, guys. Welcome on in.
How's everything?
Good, guys. Good. Good to have you guys on the pod, man. We're excited.
Super excited to be on. We really appreciate you guys.
I mean, when Eddie said we had a chance to do this and talk to, the new champions from what I've heard, I was like, wait. We're gonna have some belts on here, like, oh, there they are! They got the hardware. Oh, what is up, gentlemen? Nicely done. Congratulations, fellas. Congratulations.
That is beautiful. That is beautiful, man. That's beautiful looking gold, man.
Hell yeah.
Well, check it out, guys. Thank you so much for coming onto the podcast. We truly, truly appreciate it. I just finished telling Ariel that a mutual connection of ours, through how we're going to refer to him as Uncle Tony. Shout outs to Uncle Tone.
Uncle.
And, Uncle Tony, I was telling Ariel, is like kind of like a mentor to me. And we were chatting, and he hit me up. He's like, Eddie, I know you're a huge wrestling fan. I got to tell you about this. I'm going to go see this awesome promotion up north in New York. And, I got some family in it. I had no idea I got family in the business, and it's going to be fantastic. And we're turning it into a big old thing and this and that. And I was like, man, what a small world, because we just finished having an awesome conversation with King Mega. Shout outs to King. and then just to find out that he's an alum at your promotion, and how everything just came together. We're just like, man, I can't wait to get these guys on the pod. And then, funny enough, that event that he ended up going to was your trios match against Dirty Deeds. It was a dumpster match.
Yeah.
Fantastic work. I saw the whole thing. We saw the whole thing on Facebook. Pretty awesome match. And then I started following, all the vignettes, all the little cut scenes. I don't know why you took out that one guy when he was eating. Like, why'd you got to do him like that, man? Like,
nobody expects it if you're eating, right? Like, that's the best time, right? Like...
and then ultimately leading to your tremendous victory at Psycho Circus 22, where the full-blooded Italians came through and finally got their revenge on Dirty Deeds and was able to capture the trios championship, man. So congratulations, guys, for real.
Congrats.
Could have done it with this guy right here, and the Don Nunzio. We got to pay tribute.
Yeah.
Little Guido.
There you go. Shout outs to Little Guido there.
He's the man.
That's awesome. That's awesome, guys. Awesome. So, one thing that we do, we try to do on this podcast is we definitely try to, ask everybody the staple question, right? Like the question of like, if you recall the one moment that, wrestling captured your heart, where you knew you were hooked and you were like, I'm invested. This is what I'm going to start watching. This is what I'm going to start doing. Like the example I always like to give, and at this point I sound like a broken record because I've said it so many times in every other episode that we bring on some guests. But for me, it was Bad Blood, In Your House Bad Blood 97, Taker versus Shawn, debut of Kane, rips the door off the hinges. There you go. Burned into my brain. I can't unsee that. And then, as always, Desario's favorite part, it's Kane. It's Kane.
This has got to be Kane. It's got to be Kane.
So if you guys don't mind sharing, like, do you recall that moment in your life? Please, floor is yours.
Go for it.
Yeah, I was gonna say pay tribute, so let him go first. But honestly, it was 98 WrestleMania, Shawn, Austin, Tyson.
Yeah.
I remember being in Florida and just watching Austin do his thing, Tyson knocking out Shawn, and just Austin lifting it at the end. I was probably like 5 years old.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. That's awesome.
Yeah.
So mine's a little obscure.
Like it, dig it.
My uncle, not on his side, used to be a tape trader, so he would get tapes from Japan. So
Nice.
I was enamored after I watched Cactus Jack versus Terry Funk in the King of the Death match in Japan. And I was around 5 or 6 when I first saw that.
Wow.
So like that, but just that crimson mask is burned in my head.
I was going to say, like, that's got to be etched into your memory, like, especially.
And I remember, like, even seeing like magazines, because he would get magazines too, and you just see the look on Foley's face as Cactus Jack, like after hitting, C4s exploding, and it was so wild that I was like, I don't know why, but this is what I want to do with life. But then, I automatically fall in love with Cactus Jack, and then later on, I think I'm gonna end up becoming the next Mikey Whipwreck. Which, funny story, segue into Mikey Whipwreck is my original trainer.
Oh wow!
Oh
yeah.
wow!
Full circle moment. That is so crazy.
So we'll get into that though.
Yeah, for sure.
That's great.
Yeah.
So now, gentlemen, like, what is, obviously you said not on his side of the family. So what is the familiar connection between you two?
We're cousins.
Cousins. Okay, great.
Yeah.
All right. So, and now, is there a bit of an age difference here, just to kind of?
Yeah, I'm 35 and he's 31, so
okay,
4 years.
So 4 years. So great. Okay, so right there. Right. Oh, so all right, perfect. So,
right,
the same timeline, same eras. Grew up with the same.
Yep.
Great, wonderful. Okay, great.
Beating him up on that whole deal.
Yeah.
I mean, are you cousins? Are you cousins if you're not whooping on each other? Like, that's the real question.
That's out the sharpshooter to make sure it works, bro. Come on.
I mean, come on. Everyone's done that. You had a cousin, you'd have a brother, you'd have someone in that sharpshooter. Like,
there you go. Yeah, man. That's pretty awesome. And I know we've had this chat behind the scenes, right? Just to kind of bring our listeners, full circle and understand what we're about to get into. Although you guys are very similar in age, as far as experience in the ring, CJ you're a 15-year vet, and Nicky is what 8 months in the game, right?
Literally just passed.
Wow.
Wow.
That's amazing, dude. You're like the next DDP, bro. DDP started at 35. He was champion at 37. So you could make it happen, bro.
Yeah.
Nicky's champion 8 months in.
Yeah, that's true.
He's already got the gold.
Right. Sorry, gentlemen.
He's
No
already got
disrespect. I
gold.
meant like on a solo run. But you're right. You're right. He's champion already. You're absolutely right. But what I was gonna say, guys, was but segueing into the next question, like, what inspired you to become like professional wrestlers? Like, who were your biggest influences to make you be like, you know what, I want to style my appearance, my move set, based on these folks that I grew up watching or work with at this point, right? I mean,
So for me, it was Angle, RVD, guys like Jeff Hardy. Loved guys like Scott Hall.
yeah.
We're throwing up the toothpicks at all moments of our lives. Yeah. And yeah, I mean, there's so many. I mean, Stone Cold was my favorite growing up, but it's just there's so many guys who have influenced me, and to even pick a Mount Rushmore would be hard. But
Yeah.
I mean, I'm gonna throw that to you. I mean,
so for me, like my biggest influence, I think we all grew up Austin fans. You know what I'm saying? So Austin, I would say Cactus Jack. But then like also too, it's wild how like, I grew up watching the Full Blooded Italians, and then years later I end up working with them, and then now Nicky's a part of it. So like we're the two newest members, along with Ray Jazz and the other guy in
Dawson.
Dawson in TNA and everything. So just the dynamic of being able to see, guys that are like us, Italian, and like they're overstating what we've lived with the how you doing, blah blah blah, all that stuff, and alluding and blurring the lines between being connected. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So like, it's awesome for us to be able to do this, and it fits like a glove because that's who we are and who we've always been, and just to be able to pay tribute to our culture, and not only that, like poke fun sometimes is amazing.
Yeah.
It's got to be fun to be able to walk that line until the line of like, taking a couple of things and making a jab here or there, and still respecting and holding up your culture. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
That's great.
Because if you think about it too, from myself, there were times where the FBI were taken serious in ECW, but then Nunzio Little Guido goes to WWE, and they make him a joke until he gets into the cruiserweight division and all that, and then he's a tag wrestler and he's doing all the funny stuff, the whole and then friggin' Undertaker's dropping him down with the power bomb over there, the last ride. But they got taken serious through the vignettes between like when I first started doing them, coming back, because I was away for a little while because of a car accident, and then to step back in the role, and right from there, like they NYWC was like, listen, you have this history with Mama Luke and Nunzio. What do you want to do? So we laid out this whole plan of like where we wanted to get to. And it just so happened my first match back is against Tommy Dreamer at the Space in Westbury. And this was a year ago. And, lo and behold, a year coming forward, he tells me he wants to wrestle. So just universe
things
takes
just kind of fall into place. Yeah, that's
man, wild.
Wow,
that's crazy. Now, gentlemen, like, and I know each of you, because we have this difference in terms of experience. So this is probably definitely more fresh in Nicky's mind. In your first match, like, I mean, obviously, you're got the butterflies, you got everything, but kind of, can you take us into the lead into that match? The match itself, what was there a particular moment in that match where you were like, okay, yeah, this is real, like this is happening, and then your post match kind of feelings, and then CJ, if you would kind of also get into that as well.
Well, do I go on the technicality match or do we go with the first? Like,
no, your first ever. You got thrown to the fire.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, the question is first match.
First match.
So,
First match.
what was that? September, October? I know September.
September.
So September, like this past year.
Okay.
It's a 5-man, like a 5-man tag.
Big mishmash.
Yeah.
Like
Okay.
it got
Right,
so
wow.
convoluted. There was guys not showing up. Someone ended up not showing up, and every single person in the locker room is used. And then they go, well, I guess Nick's going to have to, instead of managing, he's going to have his first match.
Let's
Nice.
go.
Nice. Hey. See? So it's moments like that. See?
So there's a tag team on the other team that the previous Thursday they were practicing their finisher for like 2 hours on me. I'm like, all right, cool. And I was like maybe 3 months into the game, didn't want to expose myself too much. And they're like, all right, what do you want to do? And I'm like, I'll just chain around, whatever. And they're like, what if we just power bomb you out of the ring into like not into the crowd, but into the crowd of like the people? And I was just like, sure, because might as well have no fear, like whatever. So get in there, and he gut wrenches me. Everyone's out of the ring. There's about 7 guys,
including me, for the catch.
Yeah. So I trust everyone that was outside. They just he picks me up, goes, all right, and I just sit there, razor's edge style, and he just goes, all right, whoopsie daisy, time to go, and I just whoop
like he was a baby. So he lands, and then we catch him, and I roll to the side, and I go, "Welcome to the business, kid."
Oh, you see that? That's wow. That's.
And that was probably like that was the highlight. And I was just like, all right, we're here. We're good.
So after that match ends, like how high on a cloud are you at that point? Like,
I was just like, I went in the back. I was just like, can we do that again? Yeah. Just again.
And not only because he's my cousin, but also like to watch how hard he's worked in the ring, and for him to come out and it was like he had been doing it for as long as I have or longer. So I'm like, just watching him, and I'm so proud. And I felt a sense of pride because a lot of the boys were going up to him and saying, "Hey man, good job, way to bust your ass out there. You made everybody else look good." And he has been doing this long, and he's very understanding, and not only that, he's very giving, and he wants to make everybody look good. So that's where the dynamic of all that is so good, and it's awesome, and it was very wholesome because, like, dude, he was on cloud 9. He can't bullshit you or try and be so humble about it. He was
Dickie wanted to kill me. He did. Our trainer Dickie wanted it. He was like, "Why would you do that?" I was like, "I'm light. I trust everybody. Why not?"
Makes sense to me.
Great spot. It's a great spot.
No one else.
It was awesome.
Exactly.
It was awesome.
Yeah. No one else is gonna take that bump. I mean, volunteer for it. Now put yourself up there, and now look at you.
Yeah.
And then I guess for me, dude, my first match ever. It ended up not being an NYWC. It was in another company called Pro Wrestling Revolution. They used to run out of a church, the Upper Room Christian Church in Dix Hills on Long Island.
Oh wow.
And they're messing with me and a buddy of mine like a month before our debut, telling us that we're going to be Indians. Okay. So I was supposed to be CJ Strongbow instead of Chief J Strongbow. You know what I'm saying? So they're messing with me because Strongbow was a Sicilian. So I'm thinking, man, I'm going to have to go buy a headdress and all this stuff. 2 weeks before the match, they're like, we're kidding with you. You're going to be yourself, whatever. So I'm like, I don't really have gear. I'm like, I got to go out and get something that doesn't look Indian now because I'm thinking I'm coming out in headdress and all this crap. So that adds to the dynamic of all this. So not only that, I got there the day of. My opponent changes like 17 times. They finally get a guy that I think he lived in Connecticut. His name was the International Cage. This dude was close to 7 foot tall, jacked out of his face, monster. Okay, he looked like he ate Brock. Okay, that's how big this dude was.
Wow.
And I'm like, wow. I'm like, I've seen this dude work before. He's gonna beat the crap out of it. So we have this awesome 3-minute match. Yo, and I tell you, I came out because like I was the straight shooter because like I grew up, I wrestled in high school. I was an amateur wrestler. So I was like, all right, I have a blue singlet, I have some shiny pants, headgear. So I'm coming out like a Kurt Angle and a warm-up jacket, everything. I come out there, bro. I forget to take off my shiny shorts. So I'm in the shiny shorts the whole time. And then we had the 3-minute match, and we had this whole cool comeback where I'm starting to he throws a line and a big boot that I duck. I come back, I'm blasting him with a clothesline, back elbow. I run through, he ducks a line, I come back, big boot, 1, 2, 3, take it home. Death.
Wow.
I ate that. I ate that shit. It was just right in the face. And I'm just looking at that like. But yeah, it was the elation I had afterwards. It was so emotional because like, you know, he's there, my brother's there, my mom is there, and like a lot of my close friends growing up that like knew like I was that kid in the neighborhood. He's gonna be jumping off your roof, backyard wrestling or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So to have that match, and it meant so much to me to just have it and say I'm living my dream, because there's not many people that get to do that. Yeah. So like, you know, especially now too, I hold on to that more because my anniversary is actually coming up of my first match, because it was in March of 2009. So I've been pro since 2009, but then I took time away from 2015 when I got hurt till like 2021, 2022, around there, coming back. So I've only been back wrestling at a high level for 3.5, almost 4 years.
Yeah.
So, you know, the pandemic lit a fire under me to come back, but I appreciate that match so much more because of everything I went through to get to this moment now. And then even more so with like, you know, they're like, hey, you want to wrestle Tommy Dreamer? Do I want to wrestle Tommy Dreamer? One of my idols, you want, and then you go and you watch that match on YouTube. Like in my head at in the moment, because I'm a perfectionist, I hated it. But then I watched it back, and then just to listen to the crowd and like go back, and I remember visuals of like seeing him and our family, and then like people I haven't seen in years, fans I haven't seen in years, when they were like, we didn't even know that you were wrestling again. And like this place had like 1,500 people there. So that's probably the biggest crowd I've ever wrestled in front of. But then to watch it back, and to the promo he cuts on me at the end of that match, I don't think it's a part of the thing. It was very wholesome. And I'm trying not to get choked up thinking about it now, because like it meant a lot, because it was a shoot what he said. And, you know, to have Mama Luke in my corner. So like those two matches, like kind of, they delve into each other. My first match ever, and then my first big match back is that. And to hit a home run both times is like, is amazing.
Wow. Wow. Look at that, man. Look at Nicky with the support right there. Wow. That's amazing. And you know what? It's crazy, because going into the next question, right? I feel like this might be a little bit more targeted towards CJ, because I feel like maybe Nicky hasn't faced this question yet, but maybe you have. So I'll put it out there, but you know, let's see what CJ has to say about this, right? But like, what was the toughest challenge you faced, like breaking into the business?
Bro, at the time of me coming in, too, you got to think I'm 19. I've been training since I'm 15, on and off over the years. You know, I took a break, I would say, around my 1 year in, because like I was involved in high school wrestling, and I wanted to wrestle in college. Mm-hmm. And I had gotten an offer to wrestle for the Naval Academy. So like I was focused on that stuff. So I was like, you know what, wrestling is going to take a back burner for a little bit. But then when I tried to get into the military, I ended up blowing out my knee, and I needed to get my meniscus surgically repaired. Wow. So a girlfriend of mine at the time was like, listen, like obviously now you can't go into the military, because they literally told me, you can't use your son, have a nice life. So I'm like, what the hell do I do now? And my family, you know, obviously him too, and everybody was like, dude, just try professional wrestling, go back. So I find another school, and you know, they're harping on like your physique. And I've always been a big kid. Like I'm a big guy. I'm built kind of like a smaller NFL linebacker. But like, you know, I got a little bit of a belly, so it's my weight and my height that hurt me. But now you got to think like through the years, no one gives a shit. Samoa Joe, Daniel Bryan, Moxley, Kevin Owens, who used to be Kevin Steen, El Generico, all these guys that I grew up watching and wanted to be like, especially in the YouTube era of like YouTube just becoming a thing in the 2000s. Like, I wanted to be like all these guys. So then once I started seeing all these guys that I look like, I'm like, so why is this hurting me then? You know what I'm saying? Because like I was a little heavier and my weight has fluctuated here and there. But I know if I get myself into like really, really good shape, I mean, you kind of can't deny me anymore.
Yeah.
So, I've been working on it, but like I've had a lot of injuries here and there and it sucked. But I would say my weight and height had hurt me in the beginning of me coming in.
Wow. Nicky, you want to take a shot at this? I mean,
I've been kind of blessed because, Don over here, a lot of people pay tribute down there. And he holds a good rapport with a lot of the students. I guess just acclimating to, because outside of pro wrestling, like I do Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu 3 times a week. So it kind of translates. Luckily, the trainers down there, Dickie Rods and Michael Mastretta, have been really, really good at just,
they're phenomenal.
Yeah, translating that into pro wrestling. And, so I can't really say I've faced much adversity yet. I probably will at some point. And, when that happens, it happens.
To add to what he's saying, and I don't mean to cut you off.
Yeah, no, you're fine.
I think Nicky's trying to say, since they know he has a shooter background, a lot of these kids, some of them coming into the business now or that have been there for a little bit and have been training, they're like, this kid could kick our ass for real. You know what I'm saying? Not saying that pro wrestling is fake. Obviously what we do, we have to be athletic, but like, if Nicky wanted to choke out a grown man, he can. You know what I'm saying? So that might have hurt him to a degree where people are afraid to get in the ring with him, maybe, but, I digress.
Yeah, it is kind of hard to find some training partners sometimes. But,
yeah, especially you're doing Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu 3 times a week, and that would,
I mean, like even before that, like not even to put myself over a little bit more, but like I used to do it 6 times a week when I first started. When I first got
completed.
Well, that's the other thing when you said like in the beginning, the first match, the butterflies, like. I don't want to say there isn't butterflies during the beginning because like it's just more excitement. Like I just want to, heel, face doesn't. I just want to get. I want those I want to get the reactions from the crowd. Like I'm looking forward to that because when you compete in jiu-jitsu, like unless it like tournaments, it's not all eyes on you. But in super matches, like it's just you versus your opponent. Like kind of like a wrestling card. They just go through one view, like one match, and it's the whole place just staring at you. And and that's a dude's trying to take your arm home with him. Like what I mean. So it's. The translation, there's like not butterflies, but there's more excitement going into pro wrestling. It makes it a lot easier to translate, but it's beautiful. It's a beautiful thing.
Well, yeah, because you've been used to it and being the center of attention and having that moment. So yeah, I can understand why you'd say not so much nerves as excitement because you're used to being at that focal point and stuff. So yeah, that makes sense. No, of course, absolutely. So gentlemen, real quick, like I full blood Italians and everything. I understand. So a lot of times coming up, like, what were you picturing for your wrestling personas? And because I know as you're doing now, it's an amplification of what you said of just who you are, and which is great because I think it's probably the easiest way for you guys to work. So normally, normal question is how did you come up with your persona, something like that. But I mean, like I said, you guys are an amplification. So was there a different route you wanted to take? Did you have something else planned? Was there something kind of cool that you were like, what I kind of want to do, or like, like is there something there, some kind of thing?
I really thought in the beginning I was going to be the next Mikey Whipwreck. So like, dude, I was in crazy friggin' Hawaiian shirts, Hot Topic pants, ties around my head, all this crazy shit. I literally thought I was the next Mikey Whipwreck. And then someone was like, bro, I know you want to do that because you used to do that when you were backyarding, but like, you're a real wrestler, you're a shooter, because I have the amateur background. They were like,
Right.
you gotta be, like a Kurt Angle. And I'm like, all right. So then I tried it for a little while, and then like the evolution of it, it's very funny how like this all works. Like I go from the stupid singlet with the shiny shorts that I forgot to take off and the wrestling shoes to now I got MMA gloves and I think I'm the next Undertaker and I got MMA pants with it, whatever. But then, someone was like, dude, is that really what you want to do? Blah, blah, blah. So at the time I was like, you know what, man, I think I kind of want to lean into my culture a little bit. And they were like, all right, so like, how do you want to do this? And I was like, kind of want to make fun of the Jersey Shore. And they were like, oh, that's a phenomenal idea. But then not even a month later, Robbie E's in TNA.
I was about to
So
say,
I'm like,
Robbie.
so now I'm like, all right, I got to switch it up a little bit because like, I evolved into this like, this other character where like, yeah, I have a singlet underneath. I'm wearing, dress clothes and whatever. I got the spiky hair. I'm doing the headband, whatever. So then I see him doing it. And I'm like, damn, now I got to change that. So then I was like, you know what? I'm just going to use my real name. And a buddy of mine, my best friend, Matt, his dad used to say I looked like a young Babe Ruth shaved, like without the beard. So I was like, I'm going to be the great Bambino, CJ Antonino. How do you top that? So then I was like, I'll mix kind of all of how I want to be kind of around like a Kurt Angle and I would say a little bit of Kevin Owens. And then a lot of people would say at that time too, I reminded them of a young Samoa Joe. So that was essentially like, just my demeanor and how I carried myself and like the viciousness I would try and get in there and like I'm trying to slap holds on you and I'm really trying to take you, like he was saying, in a jiu-jitsu match, I'm taking your arm or your neck home with me. So, that's how that all evolved. And then when I got to NYWC for a real run, they were like, your name is too friggin' long. You need to change it. It was like we're either going to shorten it or come up with something for you, figure it out. I was like, you know what? I'll just be CJ Bambino. And then at that time, it evolved to me kind of having the Sons of Anarchy look, where I still looked Italian, but I had this like mean streak to me. It was kind of like, I looked a little better than the guys in the bar in A Bronx Tale, and now you just can't leave.
Now you just can't leave.
But, I had, the whole nine, and then like, that evolved through into like the jerseys and the Bad Guy Inc. jerseys and just all Italian stuff and like mixing of the MMA and everything just melded together to now I'm in my Tony Soprano era. I'm wearing my bowling shirts and now we got the striped pants because like bringing him into the mix, we have to look like a team. So there's times where we've done like the black pants with the suspenders and we have the singlets or whatever, but we always want to keep that to not to say like, movie quality, TV quality, but like you could picture us as being like, oh fuck, these guys could be in. I'm sorry, I don't know if I could curse.
No, you're good.
No, speak freely, bro. Good.
In one of these shows or something like that, and like that you're like, wow, they really could be mobsters. You know what I'm saying? Right. So it all evolves.
Yeah, so it kind of makes sense because one of the vignettes was like Nicky coming out of the pizza shop collecting the monthly the money, and he's like, "You check it? Did you check if it was short?" And he's like, "He gave me a couple of slices. Like, what do you want from me?" Like,
and then
I always check the money.
You gotta check it because they think they can pull one over on you for a slice of pizza.
For a slice of pizza, exactly. No.
But that's also the thing. Like, if you watch other promos, like we're in bars, we're in whatever, so like we're not in your typical wrestling spots. To where when we are in the wrestling spots and we do wrestling promos or, stuff that's like a vignette that needs to be done like around the school or the building, whatever, it means more. But now, like, I've done so many promos before Nicky came back where after I had lost to Dreamer, I was doing like this open challenge thing. And I don't know if you guys went and you saw it. You could literally YouTube the That's Life promo. And I cut a promo based off of the That's Life song by Frank Sinatra.
Sinatra?
And dude, I end it I take a Joker card because I say something along the lines of, and the next Joker that ends up facing me, I feel bad for, and then I burn the Joker card with my cigar. No one's doing stuff like that.
Yeah. And you see, and what makes that so cool too is because that sense of, like you said, like realism is there. That element is there, because instantly, as you were as reflecting on all the vignettes that I was able to see, and then also the way that you're describing it, like, yeah, if you look at something like the D'Angelo family on NXT, like you said, all their scenes are like, in the corner somewhere, like in the performance center, or like this fake little office, but like that's as far as it goes. But you guys were in front of the pizza shop. You guys are at the bars. You guys are in your own like little hangout, the guys clubhouse kind of thing. And you handle business. You're murdering people. You got to get rid of a body. You know what I mean? Like, like that element is like pretty awesome, man. Wow. Okay. But but Nikki, but what about you? Right. Just before we move on to the next question, because it's so new to you, to develop that persona, was it like a no-brainer, or did you mentally think that you wanted to go a different route or a different angle?
So when I first started, they gave me the option, and obviously I wanted to work with him. So, and it seems like a no-brainer because it's lifestyle, it's part of the culture, it's in the family. I wanted to kind of mesh like Chrissy and Paulie Walnuts from Sopranos into one character. Probably not portraying it the best that I can, but it's it's all in all, it's just great fun. Like you said, that pizza shop one was great. Like that was what it was just 2 seconds of our time, and
we just happened to be in the area where we'll film this promo. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, like it's just it is a movie. Like it's one of the best advice that I got so far working outside of NYWC was be a TV star that can wrestle.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Now, one thing that I will say though, because in our conversation with King, he said something beautiful about being a pro, right? And I love this answer because it really opened up the doors for us to be like, yeah, no, he's right. But when I asked him the next question that we're about to ask you guys, before I asked, he said the difference between, a WWE guy and what I do is that a WWE guy has a contract. But at the end of the day, both of them are still pros. And when he said that, I was like, that's the most beautiful and poetic answer I've ever heard about an indie pro wrestler, because you're right. Whether you have a contract or not, you're still hitting the grind. You're jumping around promotions. You're trying to get, seen. You're putting your bodies through so much, and and all this traveling.
And you're collecting a paycheck. So you're working. It's paying for your livelihood. So that's what it is. That's, I think, was one of the most beautiful part of his answer. I think was that yes, they are the superstars, but I'm putting food on my table. I got a roof over my head, I got clothes on my back, doing what I love.
Exactly.
I think that's the beautiful thing about what you guys are doing. So I didn't mean to cut you off. I just wanted to.
No. You added more to what I was trying to get at, and in reality, that leads into our next question. At what point did you feel that you could truly say, "Hey, I made it. I can call myself a pro wrestler"? And like, obviously, again, the experience level, the answers will differ. But we would love to hear.
And the fact that you have title belts, don't hey man, hey.
Yeah. Gold. There you go. One more time.
Just keep showing it, man.
So I can say maybe 3 instances. I think initially, once you have your first match, you could say, wow, like, okay, I'm in this now. You know what I'm saying? But for me, I hit the ground running. So it was like, I wasn't stopping. I was going to Connecticut. I was going to New Jersey. Anywhere that would have me, I would go. Like you say, you're chasing a paycheck. Not only that, it's exposure too. So it's like, get your name out there, have a positive social media outlook, especially back then, 2009, social media is starting to become a real thing, but you have to have this, carry yourself professionally. There's a lot of guys that don't really do that. Even locker room etiquette's a real thing. You know what I'm saying? So, you're making these connections too, and everybody's a real person at the end of the day. So I would say my first match, and then I would say wrestling my first name, which was Balls Mahoney.
Oh, nice.
Wow.
So I ended up wrestling 3 separate times, one of them being in a steel cage on Long Island at NYWC, which was sick.
Oh, shoot,
But for
what?
it was awesome. And like to be able to wrestle with him, and then I'm in the car the next weekend with him, driving to go to Delaware to wrestle him. You know what I'm saying? So like stuff like that, and especially like when a veteran invests in you, like Balls invested in me, or Tony Mamaluke invested in me, Eddie Kingston, Cade Lothbrock, these types of guys that I've been around and I've had the honor of sharing the car with, and moving around and doing these things, and traveling the roads, and like going from promotion to promotion, these double shot weekends, whatever, chasing it, showing up on shows that I wasn't even booked on to help set up the ring or help set up chairs, talk to the promoter. Hey, who's that kid that helped set up blah blah blah? So and so can't make it. Throw him on the show. See what I'm saying?
Awesome.
Like stuff like that is what I used to do all the time.
Yeah.
And I love the business so much, especially in my early 20s. That's all I knew and all I had. Like I had a lot of points in my life, and I'm not going to try and get choked up about it, where life was pretty rough for me. And then there was times I forgot who CJ the wrestler is and CJ the person is. And then I would say, coming back after, like I said, the pandemic lit a fire under me to come back and lose weight and, go out on my terms. Like technically I shouldn't be wrestling, but like I got to do this my way. And then wrestling Dreamer and having the match that I had and doing the stuff that I'm doing now, that lit such a fire under me to say that someone that I idolized saying the things that he said about me for a shoot. Like I didn't know he was going to cut this promo, and he wasn't doing it to put himself over or whatever. It was like very directed towards me in a very wholesome way. That's when I knew.
That's so awesome, bro. Thank you, man. Thank you for sharing that, brother. Like that. And see, and like it's moments like that we love. This is why we do what we do, because at the end of the day, we spoke about it before, like we're all fans. And to sit here and to be able to, go ahead and just hear these stories and hear your experience and hear just your whole journey is fantastic. It's amazing. And
thank you,
CJ. Thank you so much for sharing that, man. I really do. I really do appreciate that. Oh, wow.
Thank
I don't know, Nicky. You think you could follow that, man? That's
it's powerful. I mean, for me, it's. I was talking to my trainer before about it. Now, technically, Dicky says he's like when you get a paycheck, he's like that's when you're a wrestler. So I'll go with the story of I worked a show out in Jersey,
mm-hmm.
and I wasn't even supposed to like be on it. Like I just went there. I was gonna do ring crew,
setting up chairs.
Yeah, and the owner was like, "Hey kid, like you kick some ass. Like come here. I kind of need you. You want to do a run in?" And I was like, "Sure." And the guy was so impressed with like 2 minutes of me just running in, and I just clotheslined him and totally took his head off and put like the boots on him for 2 seconds, kind of gave him a few shots and came back, and the guy was like, "Now that's how you kick some ass, kid," and just envelope. And I was just like, all right. But yeah, that was, so that's, I kind of felt that in there. I was like, all right, like I can, like this is definitely this is the start of something here. Like we're getting the ball rolling.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
wow.
And then not only that, he was asked back.
Yeah.
Just off of that.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? And then like he went out of his way like to go and get booked other places, and he's chasing it like how I was chasing it. So now he's elevated himself to the point now we're getting asked to do stuff together on these promotions. So like, we're just getting the ball rolling together, showing that like we're one thing.
Mm-hmm.
So, we don't always need the rub of the full-blooded Italians, because we got each other. And the minute you see the two of us, it's game over.
There you go. Oh man,
it is fantastic to have the rub.
Oh, man, I see your excitement gets me excited because I'm just like, because in reality, what this is the passing of the torch, really, if you think about it, right? Because Lil Nunzio is doing for you what, in essence, CJ, you're doing for Nicky, right? Because like Nicky is just getting started, so eventually he's gonna have to, pass that on to the next person that wants to break into the business,
exactly,
and and go through that.
All right, fellas. Now, another question I know Eddie and I have, and a lot of other people probably have. And once again, the answer here is going to be something that I'm interested to hear because of the gap. Once again, in terms of the duration of times you guys have been wrestling, in terms of the physical toll. I mean, it's something that I'm sure has changed for you, CJ, over time. And Nicky, I'm sure, of course, it's especially you've been the jujitsu and everything like that as well. But the physical toll and also the mental toll that this takes you, especially, traveling. Like you said, you've been on the road with these guys and you've had to go to promotion. You're doing things like setting up the ring for free so that your name is there, your face is there, so that these guys take notice, and like the things like that, like the physical and the mental toll. How did you deal with it before? How are you dealing with it now? Do you find you're better suited now that you've been in the game longer? Like, and on both sides, please.
I would say being in the game longer, you get used to it. It's trial by fire initially. It doesn't matter whether it's the beginning or even if you've been doing this for a while. Sometimes your body lets you know, like, yo, you need to relax a little bit for certain stuff. And that's how, you switch up your style. You stop doing certain moves for a little while. Start to make those things mean more, especially if it's something you do special. You know what I'm saying? Initially, though, it is a shock to the system. It's a culture shock. You're like, wow. Like, there's some people that go into it thinking that this is a joke, which, we're not one of those people, but I've heard. And not only that, like, just for me, it was like, oh, like, all right, we're in this now. You know what I'm saying? And then, like, the mental aspect of it, I would say, there is so many people looking to step over you for their imaginary spot. And instead of this being a brotherhood, sometimes it's more of very cutthroat. So it takes a lot, like when you want to stay away from drama, but especially like locker room or backstage or whatever, which is what we try to do. We have normal lives outside of this to where like, yes, wrestling is everything to me, but like my wife and my son and my two dogs come first. You know what I'm saying? Like my family comes first. I'm not going to let something wrestling wise come between me and him, a physical, real relationship of, he's my family. But, mentally, it's just like being able to stick what some of these people say and do and go out of their way sometimes to try and, rub dirt on your name or whatever. If you can't lace my boots, don't ever try and step in my boots. Bottom line.
That's it.
Dang. You just cut a promo?
Right there. I felt it. I'm scared. Sir, I don't want to be near your boots, sir, if that makes you feel better.
I mean that truthfully.
No,
it's
absolutely,
like,
of course. People,
right. I'm not going to take advice from someone that you're not cutting my checks. Yep. You're not doing, you know what I'm saying? Right. If you got criticism of me, okay, fine. I take constructive criticism real well, but from the people that I need to, absolutely. Not from Joe Schmo.
Fair enough.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Yeah.
And I don't mean that cockily. It's the truth, because there's some people that, they always got something to say, and you're like, bro, what have you done? You know what I'm saying? That's like me going up to Undertaker and being like, hey, bro, why don't you do this? Like, what?
Yeah, like, I noticed on your tombstone, it's like, no, what, huh?
I mean, for me, physically, massages. Massages like nobody's business. Like cupping.
Those ropes hurt.
Yeah. I mean, like, that's the thing. People, the new I don't want to say the new generation, but there's some times you have people that come in thinking like, oh, none of this hurts, or even fans that none of this hurts, or people who aren't even fans because they just think, oh, it's all fake. It's like, get into a ring, do a couple things.
Mm-hmm.
This is all real. Some way, shape, like the rope, like you don't just run through the ropes because they're non-existent. Like everything in that, like it's real. So yeah, you got to take care of your body, no matter what. Recovery is just as important as the training. Now, mentally, like you got to have a good circle. You got to have a good circle of people around you. I mean, like it's a low. I shouldn't say it can be cutthroat, like he said, and just like in life in general, it can be lonely. So you have to navigate that with, whether it be with like your family,
Mm-hmm.
your friends, the camaraderie. If you're some people have told me like, oh, if you're lucky enough to come out with a few friends in wrestling, like that's good.
It's true.
So like I stick to the guys like my trainers, Dickie Rods, Michael Mastretta, that become really good confidants of mine. To just, hey, I don't know if on days where I want to ride home in silence and have no music in the car, like I know I can hit those two up and be like, what did I do wrong and how can I correct it? Because I need this to look crisp. I want to look good when this spot happens, and bada bing, bada boom, and just go from there. Because I don't really, I take this seriously, and I love, just like it's like all of us. I love the sport. And starting late, I want to not fast track it, because I do trust the process. You shouldn't really rush it, and at that point, you just have to have a good circle of people to support you.
Beautiful, man. That's beautiful. Oh man, I'm really loving these answers, and I truly appreciate how candid and how just honest you are about your
definitely.
journeys and your experiences, and to be able to share these good and tough moments with us. It's been fantastic, guys. I mean, we can't thank you enough. Definitely in the interest of respecting your time, to wrap up with this final question. I think I know Nikki's answer, but looking at your careers at these different stages of where you guys are at, what would you guys say is your proudest achievement in the wrestling business?
Wow. I can't just like put my finger on one thing. It's maybe like some stuff collectively because of the way the journey's gone. But having the match I had with Dreamer, but I think what means more to me than that was being able to stand with him at Psycho Circus. It took me a long time for us to win these. You know what I'm saying? Like just to be considered like, hey, that's one of our guys. He's a flag bearer now. I grew up a fan of the promotion at 13. I started training at 15, and then I had my journey from in my late teens going into being an adult. 2009 is a while ago. You know what I'm saying? And to have several stints and to have tryouts and things like that, and hear the word no a lot, and then just like people saying maybe, yo, you might be a lost cause, or not having that faith in me. Psycho Circus meant a lot, and the right people know. I have a lot of feelings on my career and the things that I've done and the things that I've been through. But winning these belts, especially with one of my heroes, Little Guido, is a sweetheart. Having my cousin, and then not only that, like Mama Luke. If he didn't want to be a part of it, Mama Luke didn't have to be there that night.
Yeah.
Big Guido didn't have to be there that night. All those guys have brought us in and made us feel like we've been doing this. Even that promo that we cut at the, to show the celebration, he literally thanks us for being a part of what feels like their collective 30 years in the business. That means the world to me.
Wow.
Beautiful.
Beautiful, man. Wow.
Carrying on that legacy and being able to show these guys who were your idols and everything just how serious you take this, because I think that's something that I'm pulling away from this interview more than anything else is just in listening to both of you and in watching your reactions to each other's responses and everything. Is I can feel wholeheartedly the love that you guys have for this business and the respect that you have for this business and the work and the desire that you guys have that you're putting in, still, you were saying before, just you're still learning things, like sitting in the car and being like, what did I do wrong? Like, I need to learn, always constantly striving to be better, striving to hone your craft. I think that's something that a lot of our listeners can pull away from this. I think, and that's breaking that kind of fourth wall almost, where speaking to you guys, speaking to Mega, showing that the human side of it, all the tough things that you guys have been through to get to this particular moment, to have your hands raised with these belts, with these men who you love and you idolize and you cherish there by your side. I think this, more so than anything else, wholeheartedly from this interview, man, I am truly blown away by the passion that you guys have. And I feel it. Like, I feel it. I'm not even kidding, guys. Like, I'm truly like pumped. Like, I'm so excited. Like, I'm at, man, and I'm really, really happy for you guys, and really, I wish I knew you better to say that I'm proud of you guys. I'm proud of what you guys have done, and that you guys are proud of each other, and that you guys are holding each other up and doing that. I just wanted to throw that in, man, because this has been absolutely fantastic, man. You guys are rock stars, and man, will hold a spot with me now, man. Woo, I'm in. You guys got a life for me, man. Like, I'm down. So thank you, fellas.
Cali, part of the family.
Hey, let's go.
Nicky Primo.
Now for Nicky, like I said, I think I know his answer. But we definitely want to give you the chance to speak it, unless you just want to show it. I mean, if you just want to show it, then you just show it. You know what I mean?
Sometimes no words are necessary.
Pick them up again. Yo, these are gonna stay with us for a very long time.
That's right. That's right.
For a very long time.
Don't come looking for these belts, people. Do not come. All right, because they ain't going nowhere. Nowhere.
I don't care if you're a dirt farmer, if you're a subway worker. I don't care what it is. I don't care if you're, Duke the Dumpster Drosy. I don't care. No. And then on top of that, this is only the beginning. I don't care if it's All Atlantic Wrestling, Excite, NYWC, VPW, FCW down in Florida, VPW,
NWA, wherever, it doesn't matter.
Yeah. Tag team division, trios division, it's ours now. We're here, and we're here to take over.
Yep.
And
we're not going nowhere.
Yep, and we're not going anywhere.
I got chills, man. I was like, yeah, okay. Wow, gentlemen, this, I gotta say, has been by far one of the best interviews that we've had, man. I mean, it was like a roller coaster of emotion, information, excitement. And I got to be honest with you, right? Because as you know, like, as fans, we try to listen and hear everything that we can. And one of the things that always stuck out to me is, like, Taker is one of these old school guys, and he's always saying, like, the locker room now is different. Back in his day, you had to get on the road and travel and put in your time and do your dues and all these things, almost making it seem like that lifestyle or that mentality is gone. And now in 2025, to hear your journey, your story, hear all of it, I'm sorry, Taker, with all due respect, you don't know what you're talking about anymore, right? Maybe that's what it is on that corporate level, but on the indie circuit, there's stories, there's car rides.
Let's say that there's just different stories. Not everyone's living the same story.
Exactly.
Everyone's story is different.
Every journey is different.
Every journey is different. Everyone's, every man is the author of their own story, and it's always different. So Taker's story is not CJ's story.
Right.
Story, no, it's that's it.
And Taker, don't come for me, please. I'm sorry. All respect and love, man.
They might have to have a cinematic one with you.
Yeah. There you go. But gentlemen, this has been fantastic. I can't wait to share this with the world. I feel like everybody's gonna have a good listen with this, and we're gonna be watching. We're gonna be paying attention and trying to see, what's next for CJ Bambino and Nicky Primo, and the full-blooded Italians, and where we go next. You know what I mean? We'll be watching. We'll be excited. Ariel, final thoughts.
I mean, once again, I just want to take a moment to thank you both for giving us an hour of your day. It's really, honestly, greatly appreciated. You guys didn't have to do this, especially because we're just kind of getting started out here. So to be able to have some champions and some professionals, and once again, because to get back to what Mega said that we had mentioned before, you guys are earning a living off this, and this is what you do. So taking time out of your day to be able to give to us, and kind of just let our listeners and us know kind of what's going on and filling us in. I just want to wholeheartedly thank you, boys, and let you know that at any point, you guys are more than welcome to come back, and you want to chat, hang out, go over an episode or something. You want to plug something, please, you guys feel free. You guys have a home here in Primos for Life. Like you guys are down. Like, so I really just wanted to
part of the family now.
Appreciate you guys.
There you go.
See, I mean, it just goes both ways. But I wanted to wholeheartedly thank you, boys. Go ahead, talk to me, baby.
No, thank you. Before we plug, in the next, and it's not when we come on the next time.
That's what I like to hear.
Not just going to be trios champions. What are we going to be?
World Tag Team Champions.
Wow.
I love it. I love everything about it. I love everything about it.
I'm with that.
Where can we find you?
You can find me on all social media, Facebook, Instagram. Search usually CJ Bambino Official. I'm very fan friendly. I'm on Twitter too, also CJ Bambino. I'll answer any questions, and I'm just, like I said, I'm very fan friendly. So find me on anything. I'll follow you back probably too. And then this guy right here.
You can find me on Instagram at Cugino Nicky Primo. No guarantees I'll follow you back. I'm a heel. If you message me, I'll probably message you back. I'll probably say some "Va fanculo." You gotta, book me, book Nicky Cugino at gmail.com.
There we go.
Booking Bambino at yahoo.com.
That's it. Put it all out there, boys. We want all the information. Throw it all out there.
Yeah, but other than that, just no, I'll probably follow you back. I'm just
kidding. You broke.
Hey, he was tough for a good 90 seconds there.
Yeah, he was.
I don't know about you, Hendrik. You may fall under questioning.
But also on YouTube too, you just search CJ Bambino. I got my own channel on there. I try and put up stuff from older stuff that I find that I'm like, wow, I forgot I did this. Random promos, random matches, stuff like that. So you could see the progression of, me from the beginning to now. So thank you. We're blown away by the professionalism of you guys and just the questions alone. You guys ask questions. I've been on so many podcasts. It felt like it was work, and this wasn't work. This was a conversation. I feel like we do for forever. And it just was very enjoyable, and we truly appreciate you guys. Thank you so much.
We appreciate that. That's a huge compliment coming from you guys who I know have done this before, because that's the vibe I told Eddie. I just and the way we ended with Meg is I felt like I was just sitting in my living room chatting with a couple buddies of mine. I feel like that's the vibe we want to give off, and I'm glad that you guys got that. So, and thank you for the compliments. Greatly appreciate that.
Yeah, man. I'm still choked up from the story, man. See, I'm the softie in the show. So as you were telling us your journey, I was like, I was fighting back tears, brother. I'm not even joking. I'm not even, because I'm the softie. I almost cried when Cena turned heel. So
you guys got to go back and watch that. If you guys want a good 5-minute chuckle, just watch Eddie lean back in his chair every time I mention John Cena after the turn, and he just puts his hand, and you can feel him seething through the and of course, because he is definitely more of the wholehearted guy. So I'm kind of just poking him and just kind of doing it on purpose. But
it's all right. That's what family does,
But everyone, ladies and gentlemen, I want to just reiterate: please go on YouTube, follow these guys. All right, check out the Wrestling Federation, the NWC, right, guys? and check it out. These guys are the Trios Champ. Go to the YouTube pages. That's it. Get a close up there if you can, right up front. The Trios Champs, ladies and gentlemen. Please go check it out because these guys are absolutely fantastic. The only thing that I can say is they're even better people than they are performers, and that says a lot. So I mean, fantastic.
Yeah, CJ, I want one of those Super Mario shirts. All right, he got this awesome Super Mario shirt that says CJ Bambino.
Look me up, baby.
Done. Yeah, no, you're getting follows, man. As soon as we out here, I'm following both of y'all, and I'm gonna send a message. We'll see if you write back.
Oh man, gentlemen. Thank you again. You guys have yourself a wonderful night. We appreciate
CJ
you,
and Nicky. Thank you, boys, man. You guys are rock
guys.
stars, man. I appreciate you, boys. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Dope.
Oh man, bro, how awesome was that, man?
That was fantastic, man. Those are two cool ass motherfuckers. Those motherfuckers are just cool. They just cool. Yeah, that was dope. That was a real good time,
brother. Like, I'm not even joking. Like, that story, his story, their stories is wild. I mean, you get the fun and exciting part of like being new to the business, 8 months in and already a champion, just being at the right place at the right time kind of situation. And then to hear CJ's story, 50 years in, his ups, his downs, like, wow, bro. I'm really glad. I mean, I tried my best to fight fanboying because I felt myself going back to the but I remembered. I was like, no,
you did a great job. But I mean, if there was a reason to fanboy out, they gave it to us.
For sure.
I think the beauty of them, especially not only being family, but the gap in terms of the time there is Nicky can use CJ truly as not only family, but a great sounding board and stuff to bounce ideas off of in this industry and stuff like that, which I think is only going to be but insanely beneficial to both. So I love it. I think I'm very happy with the interview, and I think both those guys are great. I hope that they have quite a little run as Trios champs, but these guys are they're great. And like I said again to the fans, if you guys have a few minutes, please go check out some of their promos, some of the matches, stuff like that. It's fun. It's a good time. These guys are solid. They're really cool. And like I said, they're really just dope people. Like they're really just nice guys.
Yeah, for sure. I was pleasantly surprised, and just overall fun. I know I wanted to respect their time because honestly, if it were up to me, we could have kept going. I could have given them another hour.
Like I said, my kids asleep, but yeah, no, I don't want to be like. And I know they would have given. The thing is, I also know they would have given it to us.
Mm-hmm.
But I think, we don't want to overstep because it was the first one, and also another reason to bring them back.
There you go.
Yeah, because Nicky even said, Nicky's like, when we come back.
There you go.
Bet. So I think it's good. I think we wet the palate. All right, we got it in. We're in with the boys now, and the next go around we delve a little deeper, and and we definitely have round 2 with these fellas. I think it's I can't wait. I'm looking forward to it already.
Yeah, man. Bueno, primo. It's about that time where I set you up and. You know what to do, man.
Yeah, man. Yeah, well, I just want to thank the listeners again. I want to thank CJ and Nicky for, once again, their time, their candid answers, their just honesty. I think was probably the most important part of everything there. So I want to thank everybody for listening. Follow us on Instagram, and I think we're just on the gram right now. We're going to start working on everything else because emails are a thing now. Create emails account, so much stuff. But follow us and look out for the next episode, and we will see you when we see you.
We will see you when we see you. Good night, everybody.